Beer is not the main attraction tonight, folks. I am the Mighty Plantain, and the main attraction is a local Maine whiskey. This is the Old Port single malt whiskey from Liquid Riot in Portland, Maine. Bottled and distilled by Liquid Riot Bottling Company in Portland, Maine. So, not a whole lot of info on this. As actually, as far as I'm aware, this is only the second single malt whiskey made in the U.S., the first being Stranrahan's out in Colorado. It's only batch number 4, bottle number 100, 1 year, 10 months. Single malt, made from a single type of malted grain, typically barley, and by a single distillery. We craft ours with an American twist, American cherry wood smoked barley. This smoky spirit is aged in small oak barrels. Small barrels do tend to produce a different flavor from the larger ones. That's why you see like Lefroy in the quarter cask, and some other distilleries will release special editions in like quarter-size casks that previously held American bourbon. So these are used barrels that had bourbon in them. Surrounded by the salty sea air of Portland's Old Port, this whiskey is American through and through. So I'm wondering if it'll pick up some similar character to an Islay malt from Scotland, where the peat that they smoke the malt with actually has that seaside air, smell, and taste. Liquid Riot Bottling Company, established on the waterfront in Portland Old Port as Maine's first brewery, distillery, resto bar. Located just blocks from City Hall on the location of the Portland Rum Riot of 1855. We put all the passion and energy of past riots into our own liquids, bottled, canned, or on tap, made locally for your enjoyment. I believe I've had some of their beers at festivals, and they've actually been pretty good. I think it's interesting they're going with the swing top bottle. And the one thing about this is, well, it doesn't look like the pins go all the way through the glass, so they're not allowing air in around the top, which is important because any distilled spirit like whiskey will actually oxidize once you start letting the air in. So this can sit on a store shelf for a while because that is still completely sealed, which is good. But let's get this cap off. Check this thing out. Made this mistake before. Hold that swing top. It looks about right in the nosing glass. Now let's see if I can put this back together without making a mess. Success! I'll keep it nice and fresh. That's actually a nice idea. I like that. Better than a cork. Puts a little bit of stress on the neck of the bottle, so be careful when you do that. You might not want to snap it down as hard as I did repeatedly. Who knows, might be one of those ones that doesn't last very long, because once you get it going with a group of friends, it's got a nice gold color to it. It's adhering to the glass fairly well. Let's try this here. There we go. Always easier to do on a level surface. I'll try and get it up there so you get a look at that. Comes in really bold, but then fades to a bit of a sweetness, a caramelly sweetness there. That's about all I'm getting off of it. Very sweet. Caramel, vanilla, actually hints of toffee there too. There is some reminiscence of the bourbon character from the barrels coming through. But up front, it's, don't get me wrong, it's got a kick to it. It's extremely boozy. It's got a nice alcohol um, burn to it. But it's very, very sweet, and it has a lot of different sweet notes in there, like I said. Toffee, caramel, vanilla. Um, but then it fades a bit to that roasted bourbon character. Then it finishes with just a slight hint of saltiness, a slight reminiscence of sea air. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. This actually has exceeded my expectations for being such a young, comparatively young distillery. And something that's been aged for a shorter period of time, it's actually mellowed out pretty good. Like I said, it's harsh up front, but as it settles in, it becomes easier to drink, just like all hard whiskeys, hard liquors will. And you can more specifically say whiskeys. But surprisingly mellow and complex for a young distillery and let's be honest, a smaller distillery. Usually you experience a very different character from those types of places, just because they haven't had as much time to hone their craft and get their traditions down. But similar to what I experienced with Stranderhands, this is a really nice, distinctly different single malt whiskey, and I definitely would recommend it. It's making me think that I want to check out. I believe they had a rye whiskey, and if I remember correctly, an oat whiskey as well. So they've got my attention. This isn't the cheapest stuff out there at $52.99 tax and deposit. But it comes in comparable to a decent bottle of scotch, and honestly, given the choice, I think I'd support a local business over buying just a general Scotch whiskey if you're looking for something that's got that particular character. Now, do I like it better than Lefroy? No, that's still my favorite Scotch whiskey, and I do like the Islay malts. But the other Islay malts is basically just a different character. I would definitely put this in a different category because it's an American single malt whiskey with its own distinct character. Definitely well worth the price. And like I said, given the choice between a decent bottle of scotch and a decent bottle of a local whiskey, let's support the local guys, because you definitely won't be disappointed. This is delicious. But that's just what I have to say about it. That's my opinion. Everybody's tastes are different. If you've tried this stuff, hit me up down in the comments, the email link down below. If you've tried some of their other offerings, I want to hear about that as well. I'd like to know what to expect, because chances are at some point I'm going to hit them eventually. But yeah, while you're down there, make sure to like and share the video and subscribe to the channel. When you subscribe, you'll get a notification every time a new video is posted. Mostly beers, sometimes we hit up the liquors, and every now and then just some assorted jackassery that usually I'll get a chuckle or two out of you, I hope. Till next time, folks, thanks for tuning in. Cheers. It gets smoother as you drink it. There was absolutely no harshness to that at all. That went down real easy.